One KFMA.
Let's get ready to rumble!
Oh, it's time for your celebrity beef of the week, and now we all know you don't want to mess around with another person's significant other when it comes to wives or husbands. And if you do, you basically open up a can of worms. I have this rule: I would never, ever, I don't care what the temptation is, have relations with a married woman, because that's how people get murdered.
Yeah.
Right. And it turns out that if you try to have relations with a married man, and that married man is Corey Taylor, then that's a recipe to get murdered as well, because Corey Taylor's wife is going in hard against a woman who's in a band who allegedly is trying to get Corey Taylor to cheat on Alicia. Alicia Taylor is Corey Taylor's wife, and she went on a social media war against this woman who allegedly tried to steal her husband and threw out many accusations about her history of attempting to do that with other rock star husbands.
Wow.
The offender in question is Violet Mayungba, right? What do you know about her?
She's in a band, Destroy Boys. That's pretty much it. I know that they are like a punk rock band. They've toured with them, so.
Yeah, so I mean, I've never heard of Destroy Boys before. Have you heard this band?
No.
Okay, but apparently they're somewhat successful enough to be on the support slot of tours. And they're like an all-girl band, right? So it's kind of niche, right?
Yeah.
And now Violet, was not what I was expecting as far as, oh, who's this like smoke show who's attempting to steal all
You would
these
think so, right?
Yeah. Not it at all.
No.
In fact, actually, even her best pictures look like a tagged photo.
I try to find some good ones, and I'm just like,
That's how it is. It's not. None of her pictures look like profile pics. They
No.
all look like they're tagged from her friend at the worst angle, and I'm like, huh, that's odd. But yes, so Alicia, she went on a tirade on Twitter, and according to her, Violet went right after Corey, knowing that he was married, because we all do, actually.
Yeah.
And when he told her that nothing was going to happen, she replied with, quote unquote, "We'll see about that."
Whoa.
Yeah. I was like, I'll wear your mask. I'm like, yeah, you wearing a mask is the only way I'll consider it, Violet. Sorry, that's not what he said. I'm just assuming. I'm putting myself in his shoes.
Yes.
Because he's happily married,
Yeah.
Mari.
And it's all right.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Wear a mask, my beautiful wife, maybe. No, that's still not good. Okay, so Violet even supposedly put her phone number in Taylor's kid's iPad so she could stay close.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then she also told Corey that Alicia was ugly and she couldn't understand why he'd want to be with her. Which, again, in all fairness,
Does she not have any mirrors?
I don't know. So here's a side by side that you'll see in the podcast broadcast. All right, can you guess which one is Corey Taylor's beautiful wife and which one is the alleged homewrecker? Go ahead.
Oh, I know. It's the redhead. The pretty one is his actual wife.
Yeah, dude, because Corey Taylor, who's 50 years old, who's been a platinum singing lead singer of a very popular rock band for over 2 decades, is gonna have a 10 out of 10 when it comes to a wife.
Yeah.
Right? She's a smoke show.
Oh,
She's
yeah.
a beautiful woman. All right, so Violet may be talented, right?
True.
But she's like swinging way above her league here.
Yeah, who does she think she is?
I don't know, man. Yeah,
Got
I'm
a
a
big
guess.
ego. Good for her. A lot of confidence.
Alicia even went on to say that Violet's rich mommy and daddy sent her a cease and desist so she wouldn't talk about all this. And Alicia obviously decided to ignore it. There's tons of text messages and tea on her Instagram page. And she went on to allege that not only was she doing this with Corey Taylor, but she's had wives from other bands like Blink-182. Yes. And several others. They say that she did the same thing to them.
Wow.
So she's just becoming notorious for this, though, and she probably thinks it's great.
It's her thing.
It's like a power thing.
Yeah, I mean, she's living up to the band name, Destroy Boys. She's trying to destroy them. And the best way to destroy a boy is to bang them. That's the easiest way because, we're all simple creatures and we give in to temptation. But luckily, it's not as temptation. When you look at, you got your wife that's a 10 and a 2's coming after you, it's easy to say no to the 2.
Yeah.
Like if your wife's a 9 and a 10's coming after you, that's where your relationship gets tested. And it's still easy to say no to it, right? If you're committed and you're in love.
Willpower,
Right. But a 2,
Maybe,
nah, yeah.
Maybe
I
she's
mean,
funny or something.
Yeah. I'm sure she's hilarious.
Tells really good jokes.
Yeah, she went on. Alicia said, please don't worry about me. I'm totally fine, guys. I'm a tough bitch. Corey is much healthier today, and as he's been my only concern as I've stepped away from performing and creating this year. So, basically, she's just throwing out those shots. No word yet from Violet, except for the cease and desist allegedly sent by her rich parents. So, and that might actually
Factor into it.
Yeah. Well, kind of be like, answer the question, how did this band get on these support slots?
Totally. They pay into it. I've seen this happen so many times.
Oh yeah, that's the Lana Del Rey move.
Entitled.
Lana Del Rey, honestly, she's looked at as an icon now, but let's be real, she was just a rich girl who was spoon fed this career.
That's all right. I like looking at Lana Del Rey, so I'm all right with that one. That's a good pass, but not so much this one.
Not so much this one.
You're Corey Taylor, okay, and Lana Del Rey saying, "Hey, ditch your wife."
What year is it?
2012.
Oh,
Yeah, I'm going peak Del Rey.
yeah.
Yes.
That is peak.
Yes.
Oh, man.
It'd be tough. Well, luckily you're not Corey Taylor. So that's our celebrity
I'm
beef.
so lucky. So lucky I'm not
That's
him.
our celebrity beef of the week. And that is Corey Taylor's wife versus the homewrecker. Let's hit the reset. We come back and we'll give you a rundown of what schools are banning this year and how it sucks to be a kid these days. After music from the Offspring on Rock 102.1 KFMA. Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the podcast broadcast. We're live. Actually, Mari, can you do me a favor and kill the lights?
Yes.
Make it super romantic in here because we're getting crazy. Let's see the stream. We got a lot of comments already, starting things off. Yeah, keep those comments coming as we're going live. I got Patrick here first on the stream, beating out Lindsay. What's up, Manny? Good to see everybody. Of course, we got Emil in studio. And then Herb Stratford is going to be joining us in a little bit. We got new music from Wage War coming up on the air, and we're playing Hardy right now. So fully encapsulated. We're on. That was our celebrity beef of the week, which is good too. Our first little radio content we're going to do is facts about Beetlejuice. Before we get into that, though, I want to share this video because I think this is hilarious. First, let me share this. Where's Todd Marley? I got to hit up Todd Marley, too. Where have you been, Todd Marley? Are you jumping on the stream? You getting busy because of football season? Let me know. That's not the video I want to show you. This is a short that I saw. How many of us have done exactly this? It's basically winning an argument in your head, okay? You ever win an argument in your head?
All the time.
Yeah, right?
Hey guys, great
Yeah, no,
news.
so listen.
Hey guys, great news. I just won another pretend argument with somebody in my head. The great news is, even though they made a bunch of great make-believe points, the points that I made were even better. I wish you guys could have heard this make-believe argument, because I totally made some great points, and I completely had them up against the ropes, and I probably made them feel bad. The current score is me, a bunch, and them, significantly fewer. So glad I could share this great news with you guys. And be sure to stay tuned, because I plan on having another imaginary argument in my head with somebody within the next couple of hours. Hey guys, great news.
There you go. So there you go. That's winning a pretend argument in the head. And congratulations to this guy. It was a big deal. And his name is Gus Johnson. And he is undefeated in winning arguments in his head. That's a better record than me. I've lost a few arguments.
Do you lose them?
Yeah.
I don't think that's necessarily so bad because you're kind of like giving that other sense of yourself, some good pointers and stuff.
You're right.
You got to fight yourself.
Yep, Rock 102.1 KFMA. Thank you. I appreciate that. We just played a video on the podcast broadcast about a guy named Gus Johnson who's undefeated in winning arguments in his head. And I revealed to Emil that sometimes when I have these arguments, I do have a winning percentage, but I have lost some arguments in my head before, and it has ruined my day. Yeah. Have you ever lost an argument in your head, Mari?
No,
Do you have arguments in your head?
I do not. That's why I'm a little perplexed by this.
Here's the situation. Okay, say you're upset with somebody at work. Say it's an abrasive morning show host that sometimes gets annoying, right? And you want to tell him off for like something offensive that he may have said to you. Then you have that argument in your head.
No, I don't do that.
I guess you never worked for an abrasive morning show host.
I guess not.
Yeah. Thumbs up to me. All right. We are live on the podcast broadcast. You can join us, youtube.com/beefvegan. I have some viral videos to share with you. Coming up next, the big release this week is Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. I'm going to share with you some Beetlejuice facts that you may not know in honor of the release of Beetlejuice Beetlejuice. And then we're going to have Herb Stratford in studio to let us know if Beetlejuice Beetlejuice is really good or just one of those crappy sequels. We'll find out from the man himself. All that more in store on the podcast broadcast. Join us, youtube.com/beefvegan, or keep it right here because here's new music from Wage War. It's Magnetic on Rock 102.1 KFMA. I had to hold in that cough that entire time.
I'm impressed. That's good, man. That shows you you're a professional behind the mic. If you can get it to go out the other side while you're talking, suppress that cough and
Talent.
make it fart.
Yeah.
Instead.
I try. It's funny that you say that because I was just at Dutch Bros the other day with my daughter, and we're ordering, super cute little Dutch Bros girl taking my order. And while I took an order, she goes like this. She's taking the order, and she goes, and I'm like, what, you don't like that order? And she's like, I'm holding to sneeze. I'm like, oh, good. Thank you for not sneezing on me. But
Are you judging me right now?
yeah. I was like, I'll take a large ice white mocha.
Ew, nasty.
You don't like that? You allergic? What's going on?
Should I not order that one?
Yeah. Now, of course, I made an ugly face, but she looked adorable doing it. I was like, oh, pinch the nose. All right. So, yes, I'll give you one fun fact here to wet your whistle, so to speak. Let's see. Okay. The role, the iconic role that Catherine O'Hara plays in Beetlejuice.
Yeah.
That was originally offered to a different legendary actress who accepted the role, but then had to back out because of an illness. Do you know who that legendary actress is? And when I reveal, because she was also in another kind of iconic gothy type movie. She's always kind of like the go-to goth during that time. An older goth, right? During that time of the 80s and early 90s.
Are you asking like
Yes.
who?
Yeah.
I'm trying to think of her name. Ali Sheedy.
No.
She was like, I just think of her from Breakfast Club being kind of like
Yeah,
moody.
but she was never necessarily goth. Ali Sheedy. Oh yeah, Ali Sheedy was. I was thinking of Molly Ringwald.
No, she was preppy.
Ali Sheedy, yes, but her career was like a flash in the pan, man. She basically like kind of fell off. Was
Yeah,
she?
I guess I wouldn't call her legendary actress.
Yeah,
What about the
definitely
woman
not.
that was in Witches? The Witches.
Yeah, you're on to something. You're getting close.
Yeah.
Oh, Angelica Houston.
Yes.
There you go.
That's
Yeah,
it.
that would have
Yes.
been perfect too.
So good.
Exactly. A little too perfect, if you will.
Yeah.
And, Catherine O'Hara, she did a fantastic job, obviously making the role her own.
She's a nut too.
She is a nut. And so Angelica Houston might have been a little too gothy for the role because it's like, I don't know, because Catherine O'Hara was quirky in her role. And I feel like, I don't know if
I don't think she would have
Angelica
been
Houston would have been quirky.
I don't think so. I don't
Yeah.
think so. She always plays that same very like monotone.
Yeah.
Like she's like
sinister.
one of the what's it called, the Addams Family
Yes.
or any Wes Anderson movie. She's always that same person, which is great. But freaking Catherine O'Hara, she's nutty, and you kind of needed that for that role.
Yes,
Yeah.
and she's Angelica Houston is the goth queen, honestly. Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. So we just shared one fun fact about Beetlejuice, as Beetlejuice is going to be released in theaters this weekend. The first fun fact is that the role that Catherine O'Hara made her own in Beetlejuice was originally offered and cast another legendary actress, none other than Angelica Houston. Who you know from the Addams Family and many other iconic roles. She was originally cast to play Delia Dietz, but she had to back out because of an illness. That's so goth, right? The illness is she's probably allergic to sunlight, So, as we get ready for Beetlejuice and find out from Herb Stratford if it's worth our money to go to the box office more than once. Because I think it's worth our money just to see it once, at the very least. Curiosity factor. It is a Tim Burton movie. It is the return of Michael Keaton, a legendary role. The movie came out in 1989. So you're talking legitimately 25 years.
Wow.
Oh, no, 35 years.
35 years.
35 years after
Wow.
the release. Yes. So here are some unbelievable facts about Beetlejuice you may not know. First and foremost, you probably forgot that it won an Oscar in 1989 for Best Makeup.
I can see that. Yeah.
Makes sense.
Yeah, and I don't know if it's just the makeup on Michael Keaton that it won the Oscar for. There was a lot of other great ghouls.
Everything.
The stretch face.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
The little tiny head guy?
Yeah.
All the practical effects.
Yeah. And at one point, Beetlejuice was almost called Scared Sheetless. Scared Sheetless, right? And this was not initially what the name of the movie was going to be. It was going to be called Beetlejuice, but Warner Brother executives didn't like the name Beetlejuice. So Tim Burton gave them a worse name that they would have to turn down.
Brilliant.
So they settled for Beetlejuice, and Scared Sheetless was too much like the expletive, and Warner Brothers like, fine, Beetlejuice.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah. Beetlejuice is named after a star called Beetlejuice, but
Really?
it's spelled different. Yeah. Do you know what constellation it's in?
Is it in the? I know this. Alpha Centauri.
No, but look at the brain on Emil.
I
dude.
know.
He flexes on all the time, where I'm like, look at you.
He got a big brain.
I know. He got a big brain on Emil.
Sorry, like to
It's the Orion constellation.
Oh, okay.
Dummy. All right, no.
no.
I was gonna say the Milky Way.
Yeah. I don't know the difference between any of them, so you guys are good. All right. Of course, you know the legendary song Deo from Harry Belafonte.
I love that.
That actually played at Glenn Shattuck's funeral in 2010. He played Otho, the interior decorator.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, so he had such a fondness of that role and, of course, that song that they played it at his funeral.
It brings
Party.
everybody up a little bit, though. It's not some
Yes.
depressing thing.
Kind of. I mean, it's a spooky song at the same time, too. You know, Dale.
said
Yeah. You
Dale.
think he's just going to come out of the
Gonna pop
casket?
up. I'm back.
Here's a fact that a lot of people don't believe because obviously Beetlejuice is such a fun, iconic character. You assume that he's all over the movie. But if you actually add up the runtime for his on-screen time in the 92-minute film, he's only on screen for 17 and a half minutes.
Wow, that's it.
I
That's
heard
it,
that
dude.
it's the same with the new one, though.
Yes, it was one of Michael
Really?
Keaton's stipulations that if he was going to do it again, that he wanted to kind of retread some of the things that they did during the first film that made it so great, and that is not have an overabundance of Beetlejuice. So if you're going into Beetlejuice, expecting to see lots of Michael Keaton as that iconic character, you will be disappointed.
It's a good formula, I think, though. Less is more sometimes.
Yeah, as long as you load up with, a bunch of other great characters, apparently. There was going to be a sequel released in 1990, but that got scrapped because Tim Burton got too busy with Batman Returns.
Oh.
And it was going to be called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. So it's a good thing that didn't happen, right?
I don't know. I'd see that.
Of course you would, but that would have been garbage. That's a stereotypical 1990 cash grab, right? All right. Actually, Tim Burton originally wanted Sammy Davis Jr. to play Beetlejuice.
That would have been even more weird.
Weird.
Yes.
Those big eyes.
Well, Sammy Davis Jr., he has a glass eye.
Yeah, glass eye.
That would have been awesome. We could have popped that out. That would have been spooky.
That's the only reason.
Oh, I'm thinking of somebody else. Dangerfield. Rodney Dangerfield.
Rodney
He
Dangerfield.
would be good.
I ain't get no respect.
You couldn't get different. You're so opposite ends of the spectrum there. Producer David Geffen was the one who suggested Michael Keaton.
Okay.
Yeah, which I actually heard a different story, and I thought it was because Tim Burton worked with Michael Keaton in Batman. Yeah, and he saw the darkness in Michael Keaton's eyes that made him feel like, or no, actually, it's the other way around. So he cast, whatever. I think the story goes that after Tim Burton worked with Michael Keaton in Beetlejuice, which allegedly David Geffen said, hey, work with Keaton here. Then Tim Burton saw the darkness in Michael Keaton's character in his eyes that made him feel like he'd be the perfect Batman.
A good Batman. Yeah.
And
'cause,
to a lot of people, he is.
I mean, he's not really like the build for Batman, which has always been the funny thing, but he plays a good Batman.
Yeah, he's a
Is
great
he your
Batman.
favorite Batman?
I don't know about my favorite. Well, maybe for nostalgic senses.
Yeah.
But
Who would be your favorite then?
I think Christian Bale is probably.
Oh, he's
Christian
so
Bale.
good.
A lot of people are getting back on the Ben Affleck bandwagon.
He's not so bad either.
You're
Really?
the argument is turning. It's almost like the sway from Nickelback being like, Nickelback's great, Nickelback sucks, and now Nickelback's great again, kind of thing. Like people are starting to get back on the bandwagon, saying, you know what, Well, maybe we're a
Wasn't
little
so
too
bad.
harsh.
They saw the Robert Pattins and they're like, well, let's go to this other one. All right. Oh, yeah, it's not so bad.
Yeah, there you go. Well, there's 8 facts about Beetlejuice you may not have known. All right, we're going to keep the conversation moving on the podcast broadcast. Film critic Herb Stratford is going to be joining us next. Keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. You guys look at the door. He didn't walk in.
Sometimes he sneaks in and he's so quiet and stealthy that I never know that he's there or not. So I was like, is he here?
Yeah, you think
But
he's
wait,
like a
was
ghost.
Robert bad as a Batman? Robert Pattinson?
No, I mean, he was just so
Didn't see it.
emo, and you're just like, what
Brooding,
crime
like,
are you fighting, dude? Like, I don't know, the fight against depression. It is a weird Batman, but it doesn't necessarily mean.
Not like horrible, but I mean, it's like
the
the
worst
Joker.
one, though, if you have to rank him?
The worst one would be either Val Kilmer or George
Really?
Clooney.
George Clooney's the worst. I like Val Kilmer so much.
Really?
Yeah, I thought he played a pretty good like Bruce Wayne. But
I don't
George
like a
Clooney.
blonde Bruce Wayne, and I didn't like Val
was a
Kilmer
blonde, was he?
had a mole on his face, or he has a mole on his face.
Mole. Were you just looking at it the entire time?
Like my Batman doesn't have a mole on his face. It doesn't have any distinguishable marks that you could tell in this mask.
Wouldn't
you
they
know?
also figure that out a little easier? Like, hey, well, Batman has a mole, and then Bruce Wayne has a mole.
Exactly.
Like,
It's flawed instantly. I mean, the fact that you have a mole that doesn't get covered up by the mask is just like, you're done, dude. You're done. So I wasn't a fan of that Batman whatsoever.
It's like an Easter egg, though. Let the people figure out.
No, I don't even think it's an Easter egg. It's a mole. It looks like an Easter egg. It's shaped like an Easter egg, but it's a mole.
Wow, interesting. That's your least favorite Batman.
Yeah, and I'd say it to his face,
Mm-hmm.
even though he's a super nice guy and all. I don't have anything against him, but
If you could have anybody play Batman, then who would it be?
if I was to cast current day celebrities as
Yes.
Batman, let's see, list the 10 best looking actors today.
Like, what do you think about? Well, he was Bane. He can't.
Hold
I
on.
was just gonna say Tom Hardy,
Yeah.
but no, I think he
He was a great Bane.
yeah, it's a pretty good Bane. I like him.
Let's see, under 40.
Oh, Charlie Hunnam. What about? But you don't like blonde Batmans, eh?
Fuck no.
There's the dude that's
It's the Dark Knight, not the sunlight.
beach?
right? Yeah.
Beach bum.
there's that guy that's playing the new James Bond. What's his name? He has like a 3 name. Let me see.
Oh, who is that?
Yeah. Let's see. So right off the bat, was it Reggie Jean Page, the guy from Bridgerton?
Aaron Taylor Johnson.
Oh, you think him though?
Nah.
He's married to that older lady, and
Somebody posted a picture of him. They did like a.
I just saw him in some movie, and his acting's so funky. But maybe he'll work on it, and he could be better.
Not so much now.
There's not too many great actors out there right now.
To be honest, I don't even know any actors anymore.
Yeah,
It's
well,
just- they're
that's
all,
why
like, kind of the
I had to look at the list, right? So I mean, I had to compile a list. First, I asked the 10 best looking actors today for ChatGPT, and they give me a list of actors often praised for their looks. So what do you think before I add the stipulation under 40, which was the second follow-up question, out of the 10 best looking actors today, male actors,
Of
who
all
do you
time?
think was number one? No, that are out there acting today.
Today,
Yeah, they're currently somewhat in the A-list zeitgeist.
Glenn Powell. He's pretty hot right now.
Glenn Powell, not on the list.
Oh,
Like,
Brad Pitt.
Brad Pitt is number 5 on the list.
5.
Timeless in his appeal, Pitt continues the top list of attractive men even after decades in the industry, is what it said. So what do you think is number 1? He is a superhero in the Marvel Universe.
Ben Affleck. No,
In the Marvel universe.
Non-nerd.
Oh, Marvel.
Yeah.
You gonna say the what's his name? Play Thor.
Yes.
Oh, that's who it is. Chris
Chris-
Hemsworth.
Chris Hemsworth, known for his role in Thor, his rugged charm and chiseled physique make him a fan favorite. So that's number 1.
That's number 1.
Yes. Michael B. Jordan, number 2.
Okay.
All right. Henry Cavill, Superman,
Oh,
Superman,
Superman.
yeah.
Okay, so that's who I was thinking.
number 3.
DC.
Yes, and he actually is a great Superman, and that's another argument.
It actually played a pretty good Batman too, though.
I thought he was a great
Think about it.
Witcher.
I
Witcher
thought about
was
that too.
wonderful.
I was thinking about that. We probably would, honestly, in this situation, especially when you're talking about superheroes movies, but they won't make. Unfortunately, they cast him as Superman. They can't make him as Batman.
You don't
Right.
think
Unless they
so?
start doing this multiverse thing, where they.
Yeah, but that's not gonna happen.
And it's super played anyway. It was. I mean, he did look at his Wolverine. I thought he.
He looked fantastic as Wolverine. People wanted him as Wolverine after that.
Well, he did Wolverine.
Yeah, as a cameo. You
Little
got to
spot.
watch Deadpool versus
Oh,
Wolverine.
I haven't seen it.
Spoiler alert, by the way. Anyways, what about Zac Efron?
No.
Because he fucked up his face too much, huh?
I know, poor guy. I feel really bad for him, but he looks like the SpongeBob character, like the handsome Squidward, you know?
Oh yeah. No, that dude looks like the girl from Beetlejuice. I love how this is coming back now. the what's her name? Ortega.
Ortega.
Yeah, Jenna Ortega.
Yeah. I love this. It's cyclical.
Yes.
Full circle.
Oh, you know who actually would be a good one? Who's on this list of top 10 best-looking actors under 40? The Euphoria star, Jacob Elordi.
Oh, Lordy.
Elordi, yeah.
Oh, he's a honey. Yeah,
Yeah, dude, he's tall. He's in shape. He's got a chiseled jaw. Yeah. So, yeah, that would probably be it. All right, so we're going to get ready for Herb Stratford in studio next. Emil, thanks for coming in,
Yeah,
as
thanks
always.
for having me, man.
No problem. 1K, man, that's White Stripes with Seven Nation Army. You know, a lot of news happens in a 24-hour period, and we don't have enough time to go down the rabbit hole on all of those. Sometimes we give you just enough time to give you just the headlines, and that's what this is. So let's get right into it. I have lots of fun headlines to share with you. First and foremost, rumor has it, Wendy's is planning an official Krabby Patty burger for the 25th anniversary of SpongeBob SquarePants. Now, Krabby Patty, like if it's like a crab cake,
Yeah.
then I'm all about it.
Really?
Do you want a crab cake from Wendy's?
a fast food crab cake?
Look, dude,
Come on. You're going to get crabs from this crab cake.
When
man.
we're-
I guarantee it.
when we're ranking fast food places, Wendy's is up there for me. So I would
trust
think,
them.
yeah, like I would trust them to a certain extent. So yes, give me that crab cake fast food patty, and I will eat it for days, son. But we'll see. They'll probably just use some different colored bun, you know. Speaking of SpongeBob, here's a fun fact that you probably didn't know. SpongeBob SquarePants was supposed to be named Sponge Boy, and the show was going to be called Sponge Boy Ahoy.
I like
Boy, oh
that.
boy.
Yeah, you would, huh? Well, it turned out a mop company already owned a trademark on a character called Sponge Boy, so they had to change it to SpongeBob.
Huh.
Yeah, I like SpongeBob, but of course that's what we grew up with.
Right.
So, yeah, Sponge Boy Ahoy was the original name for the show.
Doesn't flow as well, though.
No, it doesn't. I was tripping all over it.
Yeah,
So
you need something to hit your tongue on, SpongeBob.
And it's not like SpongeBob SquarePants really rolls off the tongue. It's just that it's part of our vernacular now.
Right,
25 years they've been doing this.
Wow.
So give me that crab cake patty at Wendy's, and I'll eat 3 of them in a row. All right. Study found the discontinued fast food items we miss the most are actually, can you guess?
Fish fillet.
Fish fillet. I think they still serve those.
Oh, they do.
Yeah.
Feeling. What is it? The rib?
That's
thing?
right.
Oh,
the
McRib.
McRib.
McRib was number 1 on the list.
Yeah.
Carne asada at Chipotle, number 2. Apparently, they don't run that at
Really?
Chipotle. Yeah,
Wow.
I didn't know. Brooklyn style pizza Domino's. I remember that. That was
Yeah.
good. And the Taco Bell enchilito.
Oh, enchilito,
What's
man. That brings me
enchilito?
back.
It's a burrito and
Sit
enchilada
down,
sauce.
young one. We're going
Oh.
to tell you a story of a tasty thing from Taco Bell.
Yeah, so every now and then I'll crave like just enchilada sauce. I'll just have to get an enchilada. There'll be nothing
Right.
that will be able to satisfy that, with the exception of enchiladas. And I'll drive to a Philly Bees to get one, which is not the best enchiladas. But when you need a fix,
It'll
will
do it.
do. Right? All right, let's get into some other studies here. 80% of Americans say they often are too tired to cook when they get home after work, and their go-to foods when we're short on time are sandwiches, fast food, and stuff you can make in the microwave. Do you consider yourself one of those 80% of Americans?
Yes, absolutely. I make a lot of sandwiches.
Yeah, lots of sandwiches. Be careful of that boar's head, even though that's my favorite.
I know. I was just reading some more stuff about it. Horrible.
Really?
Yeah,
Horrible.
linked to Arizona this time.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
Yeah, there was a woman who almost died because she got listeria from liverwurst. And the only thing that made me feel good about this is that I was like, oh, I'll never eat liverwurst. So, they kind of deserve it. But they described the listeria pain as like the bones just like rotting.
Rotting, yeah.
Really?
Yeah, it's brutal.
I have some in my fridge. I'm going to toss it.
Do you
got
really
to.
have boar's head at home right now?
A little bit.
get all-
You can't do it right now. And trust me, I am the number 1 boar's head advocate. I really am. And it breaks my heart that this is happening, and I hope they get on top of it. But really, there was a lot of deregulation that happened, and these companies were able to basically monitor themselves and keep the FDA out of it. And this is what happened. So, You got to fix that. Sometimes, you need the government to actually govern when it comes to things that protect the American people and when it comes to our lunch meats. Even though lunch meat overall is really not that good.
I know it's
so good.
it's lunch
though.
meat,
It's delicious.
It's
But
delicious.
it is. I get it.
Yeah, dude. I can't even tell you how much I've consumed. But all right, all right, let's see. Moving forward, over 2,000 IKEA employees in Sweden broke the world record for the largest pajama party.
Ooh.
Yeah, which quickly pivoted to the largest IKEA orgies.
I was
So
gonna say.
congratulations. Yes.
A lot of broken beds.
Yeah, those Swedish meatballs, they were free for everybody. Speaking of Sweden, people online are up in arms after finding out that some Swedes use bananas as a pizza topping.
Oh yeah.
Gross.
Yeah.
You say that's gross, but Rocco actually had bananas as a topping on one of his pizza of the month, and it was good.
Really?
I was surprised. I was not looking forward to it, but it was actually really good, and I had it for leftovers as well.
Really?
And it was good the next day.
Oh,
I know.
man.
It's a
I know.
mild flavor. I can see it working.
It's
Right.
banana flavor though. Like I don't even like banana candy. I don't like banana flavored
Banana
anything.
candy and bananas are completely different, though.
That's a fact. That is a fact. Yeah. So you'd be surprised how the acidity of the tomatoes
Yeah.
and the banana actually works.
Wow.
Gotta try it.
I will
Next
try
time Rocco has it available as a special, but it's only once a year. So thank God for that. But apparently Swedes love it, so they've been ahead of the curve on that.
Wow.
Yeah. All right. And that's just the headlines. Just the tip, too. Let's hit the reset. When we come back, we got your F My Lives. Plus, we're going to be giving away tickets for UA football this Saturday and, of course, Five Finger Death Punch. So keep it right here. It's Rock 102.1 KFMA. All right. We are back here live with Herb Stratford in studio. As you can tell, he's so towering that we don't even see the top of his head in this stream.
Do I need to adjust?
No.
Look, I did it.
Okay, good. Phew. I was scared. Well, because we have normally short queens, and I don't want to look like they're at the bottom of the screen.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
It's hard to accommodate lurch like bodies.
Well, let's just remember, I'm not as tall as that guy in the new Alien Romulus movie. That dude is a freak.
Which is so
really?
funny. Yeah, what's so funny about this, and spoiler if you haven't seen it, because it gets weird at the end. They basically create a hybrid, and then they show this guy in real life, and they didn't really do that much makeup.
They didn't. His neck is literally that long.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just
So we want to make
like
you
7
a grotesque monster. Well, what are you gonna do? We're just gonna shave your body, and then like that's what they did.
He's like 7'7". I mean, he's
Wow,
just like,
7'7".
oh my God, it's just, it's terrifying.
Yes.
And when you get that tall, all your features are just wonky. You know what I mean?
Absolutely. Rock 102.1 KFMA. That's Herb Stratford, film critic extraordinaire, talking about the monster and alien Romulus, who turns out to be a 7'7" potential NBA player. But I don't know if he'll make it to the NBA. He looks fragile, and it's one of those kind of things. Like I expect to see him at a circus sideshow.
Well, you just wonder because somebody think about LeBron or somebody just coming into him, he would just crumple. You know what I mean?
Right.
He doesn't have the body mass. He's all skin and bones.
I'll tell you what, though. All he has to do is look at him sideways a little bit, and he'll just scare them all off the court. That's
Just
a great defense.
Let out a low shriek, right?
Legitimately. That's Alien Romulus. Of course, it is September, so that means, there's all different types of Halloween-themed movies. Starting off with an iconic sequel that's 35 years in the making. Of course, we're talking about Beetlejuice. What's some of the rumblings that you're hearing about Beetlejuice here, Herb?
It's hard right now because it's early. It's hard to separate the positive fanboy reviews and the actual reviews, right? It did premiere at Venice, which was a big deal to have it premiere at Venice, although Venice has been skewing a little bit more commercial lately. But this is, like you said, this was a long time in the making. There was rumors at one point that there was a Beetlejuice in Hawaii movie that almost got made, which thank God it didn't get made.
We just talked about that.
Yeah.
And that's actually,
see it.
she would see it. She would watch it, but it was going to be called Beetlejuice Goes Hawaiian. And the only reason why it didn't go through is because Tim Burton got too tied up with Batman Returns.
Thank God.
Yes. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, because I think what's beautiful about this, and my take on this is, if you would have made it before, it never would have been it would have been hard to make this story. And I think the fact that Winona is older, that Jenna Ortega has come on the scene, and she is coming off of Wednesday, it's all so perfect, right? To have this story happen with these people. And so, I think there's going to be a fair amount of, just people are so jazzed to see it that they're just going to be like, I don't care. I'm just going, right? So it's going to do very well. But it may not be, something that you're writing home about or anything that we're going to talk about in award season,
Yeah, just like a fun sequel.
Yeah.
A fun sequel of a story that we wanted to see continue. And we've had the story continue in various forms, like the cartoon. And,
Sure.
The Beetlejuice franchise did live on for a little bit, but not with, Michael Keaton at the helm. So Michael Keaton getting a resurgence in his career as well.
He is. He's doing great. And I think one of the things, too, that I think is he's very shrewd. And the fact that he was like, you know what? A little Beetlejuice goes a long way.
Yeah.
So he's like, even the first one, he only is on screen for something like 27 minutes or something. But it's like he gets it because that character, while we love him, if you watched an hour and a half of him, you would want to kill someone.
Really?
Yeah. So come on.
I don't know. I'd take all Beetlejuice all day. Here's a fun fact for you. Well, not so fun fact. When I was 18 years old and in jail, Maricopa County Jail, my nickname was Beetlejuice.
Oh.
Yeah, because I stopped shaving and I apparently looked like a Beetlejuice and Michael Keaton. So, not the best nickname, but it was a nickname nonetheless. I don't know. I don't know why I admit these things on the air.
I don't know either. Look at that.
Just Well, if anything, I could show you. You could turn it around.
Exactly.
Not only your life, but also your face. So yes, and I seen like our friends Robert and Vanessa from Late to the Party. They went and they saw it. They said it was enjoyable, but it was kind of like a back and forth. They weren't overly praising it. They're not going to say that it's the best film or sequel that you've ever seen, But for those of you fans of the franchise, I think it's going to be entertaining. And what's the runtime on it? Is it close to 2 hours?
Yeah,
Okay.
it is.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. And what's great is it's such a good throwback to just the cinematography and it's the special effects work of that era because they wanted to stay true to the original so much so that they didn't rely on just all digital special effects and stuff, right?
Yeah, that stop motion stuff is part of the charm, and I think that's that's why it's a little bit of nostalgia for all of us because it's like we would have when it first came out, we would have turned around and gone right back in to see another movie, right? I mean, so. I also like that it's an opportunity for different generations to discover this crazy, wacky world, right?
Mm-hmm.
Absolutely.
So that's what I mean, and we'll see. I mean. Who knows what they signed Jenna Ortega up for, right? You know what I mean? Is there going to be the natural would be Beetlejuice, right?
Or another Addams Family. I mean, basically, she's kind of stuck in that 89 to 92 loop of recasting.
She is because the Scream things, and you're right. So
Yeah.
she needs to do something. She needs to get a Sydney Sweeney role.
Yeah, she needs to do something that is 100% original and not a retread from the 90s like everything else that she's being cast in.
And a rom-com, and she needs to get out of her comfort zone. So.
For real, yeah.
But she's good. I like her.
All right. Well, coming up on the podcast broadcast stream and exclusively on the podcast stream, we're going to be talking about The Front Room, a movie that stars Brandy. Brandy's acting, and it's an A24 horror film that might not actually hit. And this might be a surprising miss from A24. We're going to go down the rabbit hole with Herb Stratford on youtube.com/beefvegan. To stick around because we got more, including what is coming out to your streaming services after music from Jet and Rock 102.1 KFMA. Clear. The first thing I see is Brandy, and I'm like, shit, she's still around? That's crazy.
And here's the thing, she's 45. I think she looks pretty good.
Amazing.
She looks like this is Brandy from the 90s.
I know.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't think that woman has aged a day.
Nope.
It's
she
pretty
looks better than
interesting.
Ray J. Yeah, so that's what she's been. So this whole time we're like, where's Brandy been? She's been in a cryogenic chamber this entire time, and then just like it's time,
Just
Moesha.
popped out. Yep.
Come on back.
Yep.
What a trip.
So this is so here's the deal with this film. So it's called The Front Room. It's a horror movie from A24, which of course immediately sets the bar very high, right?
Yes.
Because of Hereditary and everything else. And so this is by the younger siblings of Robert Eggers. And Robert Eggers is the great horror director who did The Witch and he did The Lighthouse and he's doing Nosferatu. So these are his younger brothers getting their first sort of shot at this. And I think they actually co-wrote The Lighthouse. So the story is there's a couple, Brandy plays the wife, and she has just had a miscarriage, and they decide to take her husband's stepmother into their house. They're like, oh, well, she needs some care, and we can, she'll pay us. So, what the heck, we can do this. Well, she's bad news.
Oh, really?
So, I mean, just look at her.
She looks like bad
Yes,
news.
she
You know?
does.
So she and Brandy clash, as you can imagine. And so this is the early take on this one. I tried to get a link and they didn't give me one. The early take was it went a little bit too frequently into the potty sort of world. So there's a lot of urine and feces being flown around in this
Really?
film.
Yeah, but what's more terrifying than somebody flinging poo at you, right? I mean, honestly, say you're in a dark room. This is a dark room, and you have someone with a knife, right? Who walks slowly, or me with 2 fists full of fucking fresh shit. That's gonna be like, come on, eat it.
No, you're right.
Okay.
It's terrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
In fact, actually, I feel like this is an idea for a new
I
franchise.
know, with that kind of perspective, I'm like,
It's called Poo Thrower.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like it.
Yeah.
I like
So, but that's what they say. It's a little too much, and so that's a little too cringy, then, right? Because
Exactly. I think
people don't want to see that.
Exactly. And
Yeah.
I think a little of that goes a long way, and there's just a couple scenes where people are like, okay, I just can't. So yeah.
Yeah.
This is something. So it may be a rare miss for A24, but it also may be something that's that hits with people. It is the fall, so I mean, I would expect this to be in October. I'm a little surprised it's in September, especially up against Beetlejuice, to be honest with you.
Yeah. I just can't get over Brandy. I mean, like literally,
Wow.
look at her face right here.
I
Like,
know.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
It's uncanny.
she looks 25.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good for her.
Yeah.
Yeah, holding up well. Again, way better than Ray J. I guess.
yeah.
Well, banging our Kardashian will suck years off your life.
So,
Yeah. All right. Well, before we get into our streaming stuff, real quick, we'll touch on Challenge. Did you watch last night's
I
episode?
did not
course.
because I had to finish watching one of these things that we're going to talk about that's streaming, The Perfect Couple. So I did not. So it's
okay.
sitting there waiting for me.
Okay, yeah. I watched the conclusion with the eliminations, but there is one that is controversial.
Okay.
Yes. So
yeah, because you read the footnotes, right?
I listen to the podcast. I'm a fucking nerd, dude. I am a nerd. I'm all about this season, especially. It's been super entertaining, and I kind of stayed up late last night because I kept checking and refreshing Amazon. It doesn't come out until I'm asleep, which is unfortunate. So when I woke up this morning at 4:30, I'm like, oh, poosh. So I can't even, it's all blurry. And I'm still just wiping across my eyes. Like, all right, cool. All right, that's bananas. All right, we got this. So yeah, that's interesting. And then there was news last week that Netflix is going to drop that Mr. McMahon documentary. Have you heard anything about this yet?
No.
This is something that you got to keep an eye out for because even not being a wrestling fan, this is going to blow your mind.
Okay.
This initially was a deal with Netflix and Bill Simmons to put together a documentary. Now, Bill Simmons put together a documentary on Andre the Giant, which was released on HBO, which was widely well-loved and
Yeah, it was
received.
good.
Yeah, it was a great documentary on the legendary life of Andre the Giant. So they initially struck a deal with WWE and Vince McMahon to do a documentary on his life, and it basically was going to be a rag to riches story. All right. So they signed off on it. Everything was good to go. And this is years in the making. So they did a bunch of interviews with Vince McMahon and a bunch of different colleagues. And as they were, slowly piecing this together, controversy came out and allegations of sexual misconduct and business misconduct and him selling his business and turning into this kind of evil guy publicly, even more so than people already kind of felt he was. And then being ousted from the company altogether, having no affiliation. So then it became the rise and fall of Vince McMahon, right?
Okay,
Where they say with the poster, they call him, it's something like, it was first word and then Madman, right? So McMahon and Madman, I have to pull up the poster for it. But what it's going to be is because they talked to all these different people, have all these allegations against him. This is going to be such a hard-hitting, crazy documentary. And not only a crazy documentary just based off the success where he took a regional company and turned it into a global juggernaut, which he did.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
But the evil, how he became more and more, corrupt and twisted along the way until the point where he's shitting on chicks, right?
Right.
And doing all the types of deplorable acts. And that's only the tip of the iceberg, because honestly, I don't know everything that's going to be said in this documentary. I know bits and pieces that I'm sure they're going to go to, but it could be this kind of like eye-opening thing that's going to make you look at professional wrestling in a whole different way.
Well,
Yeah.
that, and then coupled with the cancellation of the Hulk Hogan biopic. Right?
Yes,
So, I mean,
which is unfortunate because, I mean, Hulk Hogan, like if you don't die a hero, you live long enough to become a villain.
Yeah.
Hulk Hogan is a villain. He is not a good person in a lot of ways, and he'll get drunk and say racist shit because once you get close to 80, apparently that's when all the racism comes out, right?
Well, the filters just stop working.
I guess. So yes, we've been seeing that, and that's not great.
But it's interesting because wrestling sort of, goes through these ebbs and flows, right? And I mean, there's a lot of sort of, mainstream, you know what I mean? And
it's peaking right now.
Yeah.
I mean, we're about to have, WWE Raw on Netflix in January. So this documentary is dropping just a few short months before that becomes essentially their flagship live program each and every week. And it will be massive, globally massive. So you're talking like the WWE Raw will probably, in my estimates and rough estimates, when you're talking about the global audience, be seen on Netflix by over 30 million people each week. And that's a low ball number when you think of the numbers and how massively popular professional wrestling is in various parts of the world. And almost everywhere gets Netflix, right?
Oh yeah, almost every country. And I think that's the thing. That's why they wanted it, right?
Yeah.
Because it is a global sport. And you're right. I mean, those are the kind of numbers you got way back in the day when there was, 3 broadcast channels, right? And there was like you had 3 choices to watch.
And that's basically where we're at now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
that's true.
The world is, so not everyone's subscribing to Paramount Plus.
No, they're
Not
not.
I.
No, they're not.
Yeah. I know. I couldn't have been more wrong about the predictions of these things. I thought Disney Plus would be the game changer, and everyone would have to get that because Disney owns everything. Nope. That's a fucking flop. Hulu, obviously. I thought Max. I'm like, oh, HBO. Everyone loves HBO, right? Then nope, that's a flop, and it all circles back to Netflix. So they were so smart and ahead of the game that they're just unbeatable. So now you're getting these streaming services like Paramount Plus, like HBO, essentially doing first runs of their content and then releasing it out to Netflix so
It's
people
true.
could see it.
Yeah, it's true. I don't know if there's still some consolidation that's going to happen, but I mean, all this stuff with Paramount's been very interesting to see, the larger Paramount sale and what's going to happen there, and Skydance and everybody else. This industry is not sustainable the way it is right now. So,
Weird. I know. It's too bad. I hope I get a refund then on my Paramount Plus because it just renewed my annual. That's $100 and some out of my fucking bank account. If they say next month, like, hey, it's no longer gonna be around, be like, bitch, I want a refund.
yeah.
All of it.
I'll
And
split it with you.
access to every episode of the challenge because that's all I've watched on your stupid network anyways. But
Let's be honest.
That's a me problem.
Yeah, it is a you problem.
Yeah. They're like, we have other stuff, right? we checked your account and Jesus Christ, you're fucking stupid. All right. We got 10 seconds so we get on the air and we're going to talk about the releases that are coming to our streaming services. So a couple big things on Netflix and a documentary on Max.
Yeah.
Rock 102.1 KFMA. Welcome back to Beef Vegan Presents. Hanging out here with film critic Herb Stratford. We were talking about a lot of things Netflix, and that's fitting because there are 2 big releases that are coming out as far as a series on Netflix this weekend, right, Herb?
Yeah, so the first thing is one of my guilty pleasures. I have a couple guilty pleasures. One is weird dating shows, right? One is sort of quirky survival shows like Outlast or Naked and Afraid or Alone. But the other one is real estate porn, okay? And
Really?
So, so
not like you would search in Pornhub.
No,
Let's
no.
clarify
Yeah,
here.
No, beautiful homes that are so expensive, it's ridiculous, right?
Because
So-
there literally is real estate porn, dude.
I know.
I'll send you
All
links.
right, I shouldn't have said that.
Yes.
So this is a series called Selling Sunset. This is the season 8. This is sort of one of the ones that started it all. It's the Oppenheim Group in Beverly Hills. And it's like 25% real estate, 75% drama between the agents. And all the agents are glamazons. They're just these ridiculous women that are just, unbelievable. But I like to watch it for these $70, $80 million houses in LA. I'm just like, what?
Yeah, it's like Lifestyle of the Rich is Famous meets Real Housewives.
Yeah, in a way it is. Yeah, that's actually a good metaphor.
Thanks.
So so this is season 8, and so I always get a kick out of this show just because it's just there's lots of crazy drama, but there's also just ridiculous houses that you honestly would never see, right? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because someone's gonna buy them as their third house, a Saudi prince or something, and then you're never going to see it again. So it's fun to see this stuff. So that's on Netflix. I think there's 11 episodes of that a season.
It doesn't surprise me that you like this because you just come off like a good real estate agent. Like you in another life, you're not reviewing films. You're just selling, nice houses in Oro Valley.
Luxury houses.
All right.
Yeah. You're up there,
right,
so you're not selling shanties or nothing or casitas.
I'll take that. All right, thank you.
All right, what's the other series dropping on Netflix?
The other thing is called The Perfect Couple, and this is a 6-episode. It's based on a book. It's basically sort of like a White Lotus meets Agatha Christie kind of thing where it's this completely obnoxious family. Nicole Kidman is the mother. She's an author. Liev Schreiber is the father. They have these 3 incredibly douchey kids. And one of them's getting married, and they're on Nantucket. They have this ridiculous house, and there's a murder. And so now, basically, like Glass Onion or anything else, it's like, who is the murderer? Like, and the cops, you're sort of, learning this stuff as the cops are, all these sort of twisted backstories. And so there's some nice reveals. I will say 6 episodes probably could have been done in about 4.5. It's a little bit more than it needed to be because they're each an hour long. But a great cast, like I said, some nice twists and turns. It feels like it's more of an upscale Lifetime-y kind of movie, but when you have a cast like this, forget about it.
Right.
So this is pretty entertaining. I just finished this last night. It's just sort of soapy. It's not anything.
But it's going to be solid with Nicole Kidman.
Yeah, I mean, she, even if like Big Little Lies, right? You guys remember that? This is sort of Big Little Lies-ish. Like where there's secrets and that woman stays so busy. I don't know. She's incredible.
She's a robot. I don't even think she's human at this point, honestly.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I believe it.
All right, and this is big news for, I know Rico would get a semi finding out about this, but big news for Soprano fans out there. There's a documentary dropping on Max and HBO about David Chase, the creator of Sopranos and the Sopranos series, correct?
Yes, it's called Wise Guy. It's a 2-part series, and what I love about this is enough time has passed. I think David Chase was very smart in the way that he didn't want to talk about it. Like everything ended. Alex Gibney is the director, who's a great documentary director. It's like we sort of got to that saturation point. So I love the fact that now we're back to it. Enough time has passed. We can sort of revisit this stuff and hear the story from the people. Sadly, James Gandolfini is no longer with us, but everybody else is around for the most part. And it really, sort of look back at this when this was the beginning of sort of the new golden age of television started with The Sopranos. I mean, it was a really, as much as you must see TV or whatever NBC had, this was like serious drama. This was the show that really put HBO on the map in terms of this is where all the creators were like, oh, okay, well, HBO is putting their money where their mouth is, and it was successful. So I'm really happy to see this. Drea De Matteo's gone a little bit crazy right now, but
she has an OnlyFans though.
Yeah. So
and she does real estate porn.
If you're a Sopranos fan, you got to watch this. I'm so happy too that actually it's hopefully exposing another generation to this series. Because it's been a while. And I will say, as much as I love this show, I can't go back and watch it again.
You can't?
It's just hard.
I tried
It's
to. It was
heavy
hard
stuff.
for me. I know.
Yeah.
It's like Tony is not a nice guy.
No.
There is very few rays of light. I mean, Carmela a little bit, but it's just like, everybody in this show they're awful people.
Yeah, they're the mob, man.
Yeah.
But I guess we did put them on a pedestal during the first run.
Yeah.
But in hindsight, you're like, oh, actually, we were kind of effed as people.
So check it out. Yeah, it's on Max, 2-part, and definitely worth your time if you're a Sopranos fan. And it might make you want to revisit. So
Excellent. Well, Herb Stratford, everybody, thank you so much for giving us a rundown of what we could watch to entertain ourselves this weekend, both in the theaters and on the couch at home. That's all the time we have on the show for the FM side, but we'll do a couple of minutes on the podcast broadcast. Thank you guys for listening. Tomorrow morning, we'll continue to give away tickets for Five Finger Death Punch and University of Arizona football. Plus, we'll do Tap Out with Catalina Craft Pizza. Till then, Robin Nash is up next. Enjoy the rest of your day. Drive safe, ride safe, and as always, rock local. Later. Yeah, that was very good. Yeah, I was looking I have like an 8-minute commercial set, so I'm like, oh, well, fuck. We'll just bleed this together. Yeah.
Yeah, no, it's good. Next week, I think I'm going to be gone, so I'll let you know.
Okay.
But I got to go to going to Oregon for a weekend.
Okay.
Get out of this.
All right. Well, let's end the podcast with this. I have a trailer to share with you.
Okay.
Have you heard anything about Night Bitch?
I just saw that the trailer dropped, but I have not. I sort of heard a little buzz.
Let's react to the trailer. Now, Amy Adams. All right, you know who Amy Adams is.
Absolutely.
Yeah, she's a legendary actress, and she has a new film that's called Night Bitch, which I think is an awesome name. So with that, I want to share some of Night Bitch with you. So let's check it out.
Yeah, I do. I love it. You're an artist, right? Well, I used to be. Wow! But that feels like a lifetime ago. So yeah, totally. Definitely. We get it. I used to be a stripper. The before times. Yes.
Nobody.
Is Amy Adams the opposite of Brandy?
This family can clean their own butts.
No. Oh, that's okay.
This is a movie you're
If
gonna
you
like.
wake him up, I will rip your throat out.
Okay, for what it's worth. I would kill to stay home with him every day.
Mama fuzzy.
I'm not fuzzy. I just feel off. Look at my teeth. See how sharp they are?
It's a little bit weird.
Motherhood, it changes you. It connects you to some primal urges.
I feel like I'm stuck.
Make up a plan, draw up a schedule. Happiness is a choice. Happiness is a choice.
I'll try. I'm never going to be smart, happy, or thin ever again. Oh, and I'm pretty sure I'm turning into a dog.
You're so funny.
Do you ever feel like the big secret is that we are gods? We fucking create life. We are so powerful.
What the fuck?
I could crush a walnut with my vagina. I am a woman. I am an animal. I am Night Bitch.
You're so dirty. Where did you go?
I am her run.
Okay.
like
So
that.
this can go two ways. This can
Yes.
go brilliant, or it can go cringe.
Right.
Right? I don't know.
Well, they
I'm all
had me.
for it.
Yeah, well, because they're.
I'm like, yes.
Are you,
I want to be a night bitch.
Oh, okay. And not just the morning one? Oh, no, just kidding. I don't mean that whatsoever. Yeah.
No, that looks cool.
It does.
Well, and the motherhood stuff like really lands because
Well,
that shit's hard.
And we
Yeah.
haven't seen that, right?
No,
You
we
know
do
what I
not
mean?
see
You
that.
You don't get that story ever, and I think that's a good thing to hear,
So I thought she was going to turn into a werewolf. I didn't think she'd turn into an actual dog.
Yeah, that's interesting.
And then, of course, she does a doggy style, which I thought was fitting.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, you
I
didn't
didn't
see
put
that
that
part.
together.
No, I mean, yeah, I was
Oh,
like,
come on,
I
You
did
didn't-
not.
You
Mine
didn't?
is not in the gutter like you guys.
I
I was like, look at that lady. She's turning it around.
not even in the
Grumpy mom to
Good, that's
powerful.
obvious. She turned it around. Yes, literally, but yeah, I think the power
Oh,
was in the
God.
position of the husband.
No.
Oh.
She looks like she's got some power.
No,
Yeah.
she does.
Yeah, she's owning it.
All
I
right.
agree.
That's
I
good.
like that.
Yep.
And then Manny, whoa, crushing walnuts with vaginas. You had me at crushing walnuts with vaginas. Take my money, Amy Adams. So it's an odd way.
Don't do a search on Pornhub for that though.
No.
Do you think it exists?
Oh, yes.
I'm pretty sure it does.
I'll send you
that before.
I'll send you a link. No. He's on camera. He's not going to admit to looking up anything.
Wait, does that actually happen though?
Yes. I'll send you a link.
Okay.
Yeah, you can, and if you work on your Kegels, you too can crush walnuts.
Wow, my new goal.
All right, well, that's a good way to end the podcast. I'd like to thank everyone for watching the stream, of course. We'll be back tomorrow morning. Babuski.